Greetings, YouTubers and live videoers. Over here on YouTube, this is a response going out to Firefly515, and he's getting all theological here. He's saying that because someone at some point in their lives confesses Christ as their Savior. Basically, that text comes out of Romans 10:9 and 10, that they will eternally and forever be Christians no matter what they do after that. However, this has been a big debate going on in Protestant groups forever. You have Western Armenian theology that says you can go back. They call it backsliding, which means you were saved, the idea of being saved, and you sin, therefore you would not be saved, so you transgressed. The theology idea that Firefly presents here is not found anywhere in the Old Testament. Even though some areas in the Psalms talk about Yahweh redeeming, that redemption is the individual who makes a commitment to change his ways and the nation. It doesn't talk about, once you're in kind of thing. So I decided to run a little scan on my Big Shot Bible program here. Eastwood Bible program. It's a free program. It's really awesome. I've been involved in creating topical file formats for this. So basically, I made it into an anthropology program. Have ancient Near Eastern stuff on here, of course, what I've been talking about before, Buddhism, Islam, things like that. So we're gonna go through this and find out some stuff so I can do word searches and all that good stuff. That's how I appear to be so intelligent, but really it's the technology. Alright, so here we go. So I run a search on sin, and let's just see what's going on. We have the first hit on sin is Matthew 12:31. Altogether there was 90 verses found. It goes from Matthew right to John. So Mark and Luke do not mention sin, nor does Jesus mention sin in Mark or Luke, which is interesting. So after the Gospels, you go right to the earliest writings in the 30s, late 30s, the Apostle Paul. So he laid out the theology on how you would think about these sorts of issues. And this is the theology that Firefly is using. I am not even going to use the Old Testament text because I refuse as an individual to impress the New Testament theology on the Old Testament, because I believe that it should not be done. However, if it had to be done, it's not found. You're responsible for your own sin, as in Ezekiel 18 says. So I know I'm sound like I'm preaching, but what I would like to present to Firefly is John 5:14. John was written 90 to 100 AD. This is after everything was written. That's why John is more theological, more dealing with the metaphor, more abstract in thinking, and it goes from placing Christ's crucifixion from the Romans squarely on the Jewish nation being responsible. So there's a progression. There's a progression there. So this is rather late. This is a rather late reading of Christ's response to sin. When he heals, he has a miracle. He finds a man in the temple and he healed him. And John 5:14 says, afterwards, this is the KJV. I use the KJV because Firefly might use the KJV or the NIV if I'm thinking he's the denomination he's coming from, because each denomination tries to use something different, and I don't know. You have your hardline KJVs, you have your hardline NIVs. Me personally, I like the New Revised Standard Version. It just seems to word it better in relation to the Greek text. KJV is good also. Afterward Jesus findeth him in the temple, and he said unto him, Behold, thou art made whole. Sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto you. Thee, in the KJV. So, when Jesus said that, Behold, thou art made whole, sin no more, lest a worse thing come unto thee. People are like, well, maybe he'll get sick again, or maybe this does pertain to the afterlife, or they just blow it off. But right here, in my view of this, in the context of the year that this was written, this is saying that maybe you are responsible and held accountable for what you do, and that it's just not a free-for-all. And, I don't have to be responsible for my actions in the afterlife because, I said this little prayer here. That's totally wrong. It's totally out of context with anything in the ancient Near East. It's totally out of context with Jewish ideas, where this came from. These people are Jews, and I believe that the Apostle Paul totally has his ideas different from this text right here. He comes in. He claims to be an apostle through theophany. Or vision. He places all this credibility on himself, and people accepted it, and that's what we have. So I would say that John 5:14 kind of throws a wrench in the spokes. Still thinking about that one, but I'm just throwing it out there. I'd be interested to hear into how people would explain this from all different points of view. Alright, Firefly, take care.